good evening, everyone at home. I'm here in Stoke-on-Trent. As you can hear, they were thinking of renaming Stoke-on-Trent Brexit Central, because I think that's what we've... This part of the country voted 70% Brexit. And what's so fascinating is from 1950, all of these seats were held by the Labour Party. But people in Stoke felt left behind by the Labour Party, felt that it was too London-based, or certainly North London-based. They wanted Brexit, they wanted proper border controls. They voted Brexit in big numbers, and now, astonishingly, all three constituencies here are represented by Conservative members of Parliament. The Brexit campaign fundamentally changed politics in Stoke. But will it stay changed? Because my feeling is one of those really big burning issues was about proper border controls. And if any of us had imagined on that day, June the 23rd, when we went out to vote in 2016, that it would have resulted in 80,000 people now having crossed the English Channel in small boats, most of them young, single males, coming from countries and cultures very different to ours, I don't think any of us who voted Brexit that day would have thought that it could have come to this. The point of Farage at large, the point of our People's Forums, is we actually want to get on our television screens, on our radios, the voices of real people, not just politicians and journalists. And the debate in the Commons this week was fascinating. Labour and Tory MPs saying, you must book more hotels. Today's Farage at Large is here in Stoke-on-Trent. Here I am in the centre of town, the main train station behind me. But just 50 yards away, there's a story that isn't just a local story, it is a national story. Yup, it's the North Stafford Hotel. You might have read about it in your national newspapers this morning. Why? That's because people crossing the English Channel need to be put in hotels. You heard earlier this week Labour and Tory MPs crying out for it. So the owners of this hotel have agreed with Serco, acting for the government, to turn this into a migrant hotel, predominantly for young Albanians. The local council here in Stoke, having already got some of these hotels in the area, objected. They lost their court case 2 days ago. And today and tomorrow, there will be people in this hotel, homeless people with families, women who've suffered domestic abuse and violence, who at the council's expense are being put into a North Stafford hotel. They will be removed in favour of those who've recently crossed the Channel on small boats. So I've just met somebody who is a regular in this hotel, plumber by trade, currently working on panels. I see you've got your room key with you. How do you feel knowing this won't be a regular haunt anymore?
It adds a bit of stress in me, because I know other hotels in the area are going to be putting the prices up if there's less available rooms.
So that's the problem. You're on the road working, away from home, you need hotels. It's a very powerful point, that, isn't it? You know, if there are now 4,500 people being put in hotels all over the country, people like our friend here is going to have to start paying higher hotel prices. In the hotel, whether you've seen it, there's quite a lot of vulnerable people there, aren't there, being put in by the council?
I haven't seen anybody this week, but yeah, there seems to be a few, yeah.
Yeah, and they're being displaced.
Yes.
By people, by people that have crossed the Channel in boats in the last fortnight. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's frustrating, isn't it? As you know, you should be looking after your own first, shouldn't you? Quite simply. I
think that comment sums up the way the vast majority of Brits feel.
There's homeless sleeping every night outside this train station.
There's homeless here every night?
Every night outside this train station there's homeless people sleeping every night.
And yet, this hotel's about to become one for those that across the Channel.
Yes. Right, yeah.
Following the judgment of the court yesterday, earlier on this morning, GBNews were here. We've got this video of the flags of the name of the group that own the hotel being removed. Clearly, they're too embarrassed for it to be public. Security vans coming to take cash out of the hotel. Other vans arriving to bring new bedding into the hotel. And at 7 o'clock this morning, you could have booked a room here or a Christmas lunch. You can't now. It's block booked for the next year. So the local council here fought a court case to try and stop the Home Office, via Serco, the company they use, turning that hotel, that historic hotel, into a migrant hotel. They've lost the court case. They tried to get a second injunction. They failed. They said they're considering what to do. I would suggest to the good people of Stoke, it's over. That hotel will be block booked for the next year. And the extraordinary thing is this is happening in a city that has already taken more than its fair share of those that have come into this country across the Channel and in the back of lorries. There are parts of Stoke where 1 in 30 of the population are asylum seekers. It is a truly astonishing figure. And it's actually cities like Stoke that are really paying the cost for this.